Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Cooper Island. So I have set the game up as a two-player game. If you have watched the Gamesplanation, you'll have an idea of how the game plays. So let's just get straight into it. Blue, having this marker, is the first player. So the very first thing that happens, and this can happen as at the same time because everyone's kind of making their decisions at the same time, you're going to add one of these tiles and get the benefit from it. So he's going to add that, which gets him a coin straight away, and food goes on to that. He then will place one of these two tiles. Notice they're double-sided, and he thinks for the moment it's probably worth going after that one actually. So I'll put that in, which also gets a wood and a cloth onto it. Now over to the other player. The other player he's going to go the same direction, but he thinks he might go after this to start with, which gets him a pink and a brown cube. He could take stone instead of wood, but he wants wood. So those two cubes come into this area, and one stone goes onto that mountain. Then out of these tiles, he chooses which one he wishes to build, and he thinks he's probably going to go with that. I might go there, and that gets him a wood and a fabric, or brown and purple. Okay, now that those two actions have happened, we then move to the actual basis of the game, choosing things to do. This player really wants to be able to put one of these forward, if not two of them. So he's going to need to get wood. He's already got a wood, and he needs 3 coins, so he needs one more coin. The best spot for him to go is there, which allows him to move this forward 3, 1, 2, 3, so it's up to the maximum. And then he gets a coin or a cube, and he's going to take a coin. So he's got his 3 coins and his 1 wood now, so he could actually do that next turn, which would probably be beneficial for him. The other player thinks that it'd be worth his while to build up his areas. So he's going to go here, which will give him 1 tile out of the bag. So he takes that, and then he gets to play a tile. It could be either of the tiles that he has. Okay, he thinks it's worthwhile him playing this one. So these 2 goods come into his space to be used, and then we add those. So those 2 are worth 2 each now. We're back over to blue. Blue's going to go straight in and do that action, which will cost him 3 coins. 1, 2, 3, and 1 wood. That allows him to get one of these extra guys, and he thinks at the moment he's torn between this one because he'll get an extra coin every round. So that's worth 4 more coins to him. He'll get 1 for going there. The reason he's thinking about coins is so he can get more of these boats out. Doesn't really need that one at the moment. This one would be good because it's kind of tough to get gold at this point in time, but he'll get it eventually. Yeah, no, he thinks he'll go for the 1 coin. Now he's covering up a point, so one of his boats moves around 1 spot. Because this boat has moved over that, he would get 1 coin back in straight away. And then it's over to the other player's turn. Okay, and the other player, yellow, is going to go to here, which allows him to release something. Now he's got 2 wood, he's got 2 stone. That's a 3rd stone there, it's a 3rd wood, it's a 4th wood. He would need to have a 4th stone to be able to release this and 2 coins, but he's only got 1 coin. So he's going to have to do one of these ones, which isn't a bad thing. So it costs 1 coin, 2 wood and 2 stone, and he thinks for the moment he'll take the 2 wood from his own supply and the 2 stone from there. That allows him to release that, and he'll do it onto that area. So this comes in. Yellow, when he put that building across, gets 4 of these cards and then chooses one of them to hang on to. So this one gives him extra storage for golden cloth. If that's full at the end of the game, he'll get an extra point for that. Whenever he supplies a cargo ship, which is taking the tile off there, he would get an extra tile. That one gets some extra points for spending more food. That allows him to get one of these cards for one less gold or one less cloth. He thinks it's probably worth his while to hang on to this one. So that just goes down there somewhere. And the rest of the cards go back underneath the stack. And that gets him an extra point because he's actually gone onto a city area. And his point will be this direction, getting him a pink and a brown or grey. And he thinks for the moment he'll take grey, so take stone for that. Okay, they've now both put their things out, so we go to the cleanup space, which is this area just here. So first up, each of them is going to spend 2 food. So the 2 food's either going to come from here or here. So this guy's got 2 food on his board, he'll take them off. This guy has 2 food and he's got 1 on the board, but he thinks it's probably worth his while taking it out of his own storage at the moment. We can then spend money to turn and release stuff, but there's no stuff to release or turn over, so we'll leave that alone. 1 point per statue. There's no statues on either player. If you've got all 3 of those built up, then you can get another point, but neither of them have that. So they take their guys back. If they had any goods down here, they would remove them, and we now move the Harbour Master forward 1 more spot. Because no one took this spot, this guy remains as the first player, and he thinks that he might build that one just there, which gets a grey for the mountain, allows him to pick 1 more tile. This player is going to put this one down, and he thinks he might put it there, and he'll take the cloth or fabric for that. That gets a brown. This player then will select one of these, and he thinks it's probably worthwhile building up. So that gets 1 more food and 1 more wood, pink and brown. This guy only has this tile, and that's going to go on here. Now, because this is level 1 and that's level 2, he can't put that straight on there. But what he can do is spend 1 of these points to bring 1 of these in. That food comes down, that goes on there, that then goes there. Now, he has the choice of either putting stone or gold onto that, and he's going to put gold onto that one. And 3 food. And let's keep moving forward. So, blue now chooses something to do. Okay, he is going to take this action, which allows him to take 1 out of the bag and place 1 down. So 1 comes out of the bag, and the one he's going to place is actually the other one. So stone comes in over here. That gives him stone and food. Over to the other player. Yellow is going to place another element. So he might do actually the same thing that blue just did, but this time he will be stuck with whatever comes out of the bag because he has no tiles there. He pulls this one, and he needs to place that there, which gets him a pink and a purple. Okay, back to blue's turn. Okay, blue thinks he might build, it'd be really nice to build one of these, but he's only got 2 stone at the moment, plus this one is 3, but that's still not the 4 that he would actually need. And he's only got 2 wood. So he's going to build that one. So it's 1 of these. He's going to build it onto the city, so he'll get 1 more point. I'll get to that in a second. So it's 1, 2 stone and 2 wood. Now, because he's built that onto the city, he gets 1 point. So he'll push this around, which gives him another tile. That also allows him to choose 1 of these cards. So he gets 4 and chooses 1 of them, just like the other player did. This gives him an additional crafting spot. So without having to remove a guide to be able to use it. Removing a ruin gains 1 step on the cartographer. If he erects a building, he draws a double landscape. So he's erecting a building at the moment. Or whenever he removes a ruin from his place, he will get a coin as well. It's actually probably worth his while to get this one which allows him basically 1 extra spot for removing ruins, and also will gain him a coin and a point whenever he uses that. So he actually did that action. He should have moved that up when he started the action, not the end, but there it is. Let's move forward. Yellow. Yellow is going to go to this action spot, and he's going to use his 3 cloth because there's a hard master there, so they can reduce that by 1, and 2 gold. He's spending 3 gold. There's no change on that, but he spends it anyway. That gains him a point, and he'll move that one. Of course, he's going to get extra resource by doing that. Yeah, he thinks he'll take a purple one. That gains him that cover, which also gains him a tile. And the bag, which is lucky because he didn't have a tile. If you don't have a tile, by the way, what would happen is you just don't get to place one in that section of the game. He can now use this to cover up something to gain things if he wishes, but he doesn't wish to do that, so he'll just sit off on that for the second. Because he did this action, that flips over, and we come to the final part of the round. So first up, we feed our guys. So this needs to feed 2 pink, so he'll take 1 of the cubes off there. This one needs to feed 2 pink. He's got 1 there and 1 there. That one's 3. He doesn't really want to use the 3 without actually using it. At this point, he could spend 1 money to bring this back, but this hasn't been put out, so he doesn't need to spend that. Or he could spend 2 money to flip this over. He doesn't have any money, so he can't spend that to flip that over. But if he had the 2 money, he'd probably use that to flip that. Get a point for a statue erected, which neither of them have done yet. Get a point for any of the 3, which neither of them have done. Pull their guys back, release any goods in there, and then move the hard master forward 1. I think that is enough of the game for you to get an idea of how it tracks. Okay, that looks like as good a place as any to finish up. I think that I've given you a real good idea of how the game at least starts. You'll notice there's not a whole bunch going on right at the beginning because you've only got 2 guys that can work. It starts getting into a real funky spot in the end of the game when you've managed to achieve 2 of any of these elements and you have more guys that you can use. So, if you have any games that you'd like to be Gamesplayed, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.